Hey guys, welcome to Voice of Reason with Nathan. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about the blame it trap. The blame it trap. This is where we can get caught up in blaming other people for how we are feeling or how we're responding. It's so important to appreciate this dynamic that happens in life, that, you know, we all do this in one way or another. We all get caught up in it in some way at some point in time, and even after watching this, and even if you take this on board, and even if you're like, yeah, I'm not going to do this anymore, you're probably still going to do it in some way or other. But it's important to just be aware of this so that when you realize it's happening, you can snap out of it and get out of that trap. You know, and so the blame it trap is really where you're pointing your finger at someone or something or some circumstance or society, culture, whatever it might be, and blaming them or that thing for how you're doing in life. You know, and it's like, well, it's their fault because of this, or my upbringing, or, you know, this or that, or whatever it might be. You're blaming, you're pointing your finger, but you got three pointing back at you. You got to stop doing that, right? Taking ownership, responsibility for your life, for where you're at, you know, and stop blaming other people. I've seen this in so many ways, like say in couples counseling, where one person is blaming the other person in the relationship, being, oh, you know, because they just act like this, that's why I feel this way. You know, well, no, you're feeling that way because of how you're thinking and how you're acting, your response to that person. Yeah, sure, it's influenced by how they're acting, but it's your choice in how you respond, you know, and especially how you perpetually respond. It's a habit, you know, and how you are responding over a period of time is completely your decision. And our responses are determined by the value that we put on something. You know, if I value someone's actions or if I value your opinion, I'm going to respond differently to if I couldn't care less, right? And that's important to appreciate that difference there. So how you're blaming other people for how you're responding, that's a trap, and you don't need to do that. And again, you've got three fingers pointing back at you when you're playing that blame game. Rather, taking responsibility, taking ownership, being able to determine how you want to respond. You know, you might not do that in the moment. You might learn from this. Even watching this, you might be like, yeah, you know what, yesterday when I spoke to my husband or my wife or my children, I could have done that better. You know, I could have responded in a different way that was more heartfelt, more meaningful, more patient, more kind, more loving, you know, whatever it might be, your value system that you operate under, you know, that I could have done that differently. And learning and being reflective can help you to do that. But just realizing, oh man, I'm blaming. And there's levels to this as well. On like I mentioned, like a cultural level, a social level, there's you know, on a personal level, there's all these different layers to the blame game. And if you realize this, it's so powerful because you can take responsibility, and it's your ability to respond that's so important. You don't have to blame on whatever level it might be. And it might be that someone is making some poor decisions, someone is acting in a really foolish way. You can still stop blaming them and take responsibility for how you're responding to it. You can learn, you can grow, you can still learn from people's mistakes, so you don't have to make those same mistakes. Even bad leadership can be a really powerful learning experience, so that if you do end up in a leadership role, or if you do, you know, gather information from that, you can learn and grow and develop as a person as well. So, you know, there's so much more to be said about this, but it's just important to realize and be aware of the blaming trap, and you can actually escape that today and avoid it in the future as well. Take care, guys. Be blessed.